Today we're going to install the Fab Force rear fender flares on this 2019 Jeep Wrangler JL. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we've got a total of 6 push pins to remove here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up top, 5 and 6. Let's go ahead and pop those out. This whole thing is held on by clips, so we're just going to go ahead and pop it loose, working from the back side to the front. Any clips that did not come off with a flare, I'm just going to go ahead and pop off with a tool. Okay, so we went ahead and put our templates in place. We got 2 of them. We line them up to a couple of the holes that are there. What we're going to do next is cut along this red line, basically make all the yellow go away. You're going to see a few different angles of cuts because we're going to take it in chunks. So make sure you wear personal protective equipment. So we went ahead and taped all this area off. We also spray painted up into the areas where we cut so it doesn't rust. Next, I'm going to go to these 2 holes right here. I'm going to expand those out to 17/32. Now, as I go through this top hole, I've got some material that's kind of angled behind there. What I want to do is I want to go through nice and slow and penetrate nice and deep into that material, because when I put the nutsert in there, it's going to pull it to the side if I don't have that material removed. So I'm either just going to be able to drill straight through that nice and slow to make a nice hole, or I'm going to have to put like a punch all in there and bang that material out of the way, one of the two. Okay, so if you're not familiar with a nutsert, I'm going to go ahead and explain it to you. Basically, you have threads on the inside. This inserts in there, inserted, it's a nutsert. So what we're going to do, it comes with multiple pieces. You've got this tool here. It's got teeth on one side. That faces the nutsert. Then you have a bolt that goes through that. What I like to do is add a washer past that bolt. It goes through that sleeve and then threads into the nutsert. Once that's threaded all the way in, you can then take and insert that into the hole that it's going into. Once it's inserted into the hole, you're going to hold onto the sleeve with a 9/16 wrench. And then I'm going to use an impact driver to tighten it down. As I tighten it down, it's going to crush that sleeve around the hole that I just drilled. And you'll hear the difference in the sound of that, the nutsert as I tighten it down. Once it's all the way tightened down, then continue to hold on to that sleeve with the wrench and then back the bolt back out. Nutsert is installed. All right, next nutsert installs the exact same way. All right, next what we're going to do is install our bracket up to those nutserts we just installed. The nut on the bracket that's welded in place needs to be facing out. When that goes in place here, we're going to take our included bolt, lock washer, and flat washer and thread into those nutserts like so. Another thing that I will recommend is chase those threads with a tap just to make sure there's no powder coat inside there. You don't want to put your hardware through that unless it's already chased out. Otherwise, you can mess up your hardware. Okay, so we went ahead and we dry fitted the fender flare up against there using this bolt hole and also this bolt hole down here. We just put the hardware in there temporarily. I went ahead, because this is stainless steel going into a carbon steel nut, I went ahead and put a little bit of anti-seize lubricant on there. Then we lifted up the backside, got everything lined up where we wanted it, and put a little clamp in place to hold everything in place. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is mark all the different holes where I have to drill, and then I'll go back and install nutserts where they need to go. Once all those are marked, then we'll go ahead and pull that off and do our drilling. So we went ahead and peeled away all the tape. Now we're going to go ahead and install nutserts on the top 3 holes. All right, now that we've got all our holes drilled and nutserts installed, we're going to go ahead and lift up the flare and line it up to all those holes. The center and top 3 holes are going to use the fatter bolts with flat washers. The bottom 3 holes going through the pinch weld, those are going to use the smaller bolt going through the flat washer. On the other side, we're going to have a flat washer, lock washer, and nut. On all that hardware, we're going to want to use a little bit of anti-seize just to make sure it can come back apart if we need to. We're going to repeat that entire process on the opposite side. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.